Everyone, it's Nicole, and I'm back with another layout. The lighting's going to be a little different because this was the first layout that I did at my crop that I went away a couple weekends ago. And I think this layout I zoomed in a little too far because I had to zoom in because the way I had to set up my tripod. Anyway, I had to zoom in, but I think this layout I zoomed in a little too much. So you're going to see most of the layout, but the other pages that I did at that crop, you should be able to see a little bit more. And of course, I'm not in my room, so nothing is where it needs to be. So it takes me a bit of time to sort of get organized. This was the very first page I did at that crop. And again, this was some page kits that I put together back in February. My goal back then was to put 100 page kits together, which I got 100 pattern papers together, but I got about 70 page kits together that I have the embellishments and everything. So that's what I'm working with now. And some of these papers are from Dear Lizzie, maybe, and Maggie Holmes, and the embellishments. Um, it was just a bunch of embellishments that I had kind of put with this preparation for, at the time it was Calvin Ball, but I also said that I was prepping for some scrapbook weekends away. And so I just put in a whole bunch of papers and embellishments, and then I divided them into page kits. And when I went away, it just happened that I had zero time to get ready, like zero time. I was sick the couple weeks before that, and then I was working up right till the Friday that it was time to go. And I think the Tuesday I packed, sort of, which I didn't bring much. I brought the page kits and I brought some inks and mist and that kind of stuff. And that was it. That was the only thing that I brought. I had more stuff for filming than I had for scrapbooking. Because, of course, I had to bring my lights for the lighting. I had to bring my tripod and all that stuff. And I had to bring my computer so that I could download the stuff once my phone was full and stuff. But it was a whole bunch of fun. Got there Friday afternoon and came home Sunday afternoon. I didn't stay till the very end Sunday afternoon because, like you're there for the whole weekend. You don't think about anything else except scrapbooking. But then Sunday rolls around and it's like, oh, I got laundry to do. I got this to do. And I was going back to work the next day for a whole bunch of shifts in a row, like 5 days in a row or something. So I needed to make sure that I was ready. So I came home a little earlier than everybody else, but I still had a bunch of fun. I got 10 pages done that weekend. And this, like I said, was the first one. And this was a couple of Insta pics that I printed on my LG Pocket printer. And it was a picture of myself and Tracy Banks, which is Mercy Tierra here on YouTube, and Nicole Noasad, who was one of the teachers at Crop and Create. So these are a couple of pictures that I was scrapping at a crop about a crop. So that was kind of funny. But it was, I still haven't had a chance to scrap a lot of the pictures that I took that weekend. And I was going to say, I hope that life will somewhat mellow out a little bit. But if anything, it's just getting crazier because now we're in the midst of we have like 3 to 4 appointments a week of, choosing our windows and doors and siding. And the first thing is the roof, the shingles. And then once we're done that, then we have to, pick the flooring. And there's a bunch of stuff to pick. So I think we're going to be busy for the next few months, and that's why I wanted to bring my camera at this crop because I managed to get 10 pages done. So what that means is for the next 5 weeks, I know I have videos for twice a week. So that was awesome. And hopefully within those 5 weeks, I'll be able to get a few layouts done so that I'm always sort of ahead. And so I had 5 days off this week, and 3 of those days was spent at our Coliseum here. My nephew was here. He had a volleyball tournament. I guess it was two days, and but the day before we went to visit them at the hotel and stuff to hang out. But so not too much time to scrapbook. And yesterday I turned 50. Yep, it's finally happened. It was just, I think every other year I would always make myself older. You know, like if I was 47, in January I'd start saying I was 48, and so on and so forth. But this year I kept saying I was 49, and until yesterday. Yesterday I turned 50, half a century. It was a good day. It was a long day. We had a bunch of stuff to do, and we went to see my nephew play volleyball, and that was a whole lot of fun. And had to have a nap because it was a busy weekend, but we had a bunch of fun. And I had, in celebration of turning 50, I put 4 of my classes on sale for 50%. And so that was a lot of fun to be able to do. But anyway, to get back to this layout, I've been yapping for 6 minutes. I just feel like I haven't been on YouTube forever. I know I uploaded a couple of videos. I think it was last week. Yeah. And but it was all stuff that I had done like a long time ago. This was done the weekend of the 13th, 14th, 15th, or 14th, 15th, 16th. 14th, 15th, 16th of May. So it's a pretty recent layout that I did. And I mounted the photo, those little Insta pics, and on some black cardstock. And like I said, I printed that with my LG pocket printer. And I have a video on my YouTube channel if you're wondering about that printer. It's super cute. The pictures aren't cheap to print. They're about $1 a print. It works out to be. But it's nice to be able to print sort of a different size. And again, I apologize that I'm so zoomed in. I didn't realize till I loaded it to my computer because it wasn't in my regular setting. And but you're going to see most of the layout. I mounted it on black cardstock, and then I had a few 6x6 pattern papers that I had thrown in with that page kit. And one was a yellow kind of round. It's sort of round shape, but then diamond within the round shape, and then a couple of, well, another 6x6 that was sort of flowery and kind of bright colors. So I just cut about 2 inches off of that, and I mounted it on each side. And then that's sort of going to be the base of the main part of the layout, I guess. I did cut 2 strips from the polka dot paper at about 2.5 inches, 2 3/4 inches, and I put at the top and the bottom of the layout. And then the stripe paper, I cut it to about 9 inches, I would say. And then that's sort of the middle of the page. And I wish if I would have been home, I would have taken a thin black washi and I would have made a strip at the top and the bottom. But because I didn't have that washi with me, you're going to see what I'm going to do to kind of fix that. To kind of fix that problem that I was having, because I wanted a black element to go across there. So now I'm just playing with the embellishments, and it's a bunch of just stickers and stuff. One said party animal, and I can tell you, those Crop and Create, they are wild. My husband came over a couple of times because he was bringing me stuff, and he was giggling because he said, man, that place is wild. Because it just seemed that every time that he would come in, it was never when everybody was just quiet and just kind of, scrapbooking and stuff. It was when they were at the microphone and talking, and they were being, kind of hyped up, and then they would get everybody going. And when he came in just before we took some of these, actually, when me and Mercy or Tracy were taking the pictures, he had come in, and they they had just, or right after that, they had were giving away a 6x6 pattern paper pad, and they kind of made reference to Oprah and how people would go kind of crazy when they would, give free stuff. Well, my goodness, it was hilarious. Anyway, it was so much fun, and anyway, my husband just thought it was really fun, and he was glad that I was having so much fun. I used some of these little alphas from Doodlebug. Those are my favorite alphas. If I could have 20 of those alphas, I would. And they're not expensive at all. They're about $2 a sheet. They're just almost never in stock at Scrapbook Generation. I think everybody's buying them because they're great. They're awesome. So now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to put these embellishments. And the main thing that I'm looking is to make sure that I overlap one over the other. So the party animal is touching the photo, and then the fun and games is going underneath the camera and then also touching the party animal. And then the camera is touching the end of the pattern paper so that it makes it that it's all part of a block. Now, I did take a scrap of pattern paper and I put it underneath the photo, and that's where I'm going to do my journaling. To the top left of the layout, I took a sticker that I had put aside with this kit, and it says good stuff. And then I'm going to put, oops, sorry about that. Like I said, I am not at my desk and everything was flying all over the place. I have this tool caddy thing that I bring. Oh, I only use it when I go on crops, and I put all my tools in it, and I had it in front of me, and it was kind of holding the cord for my camera because my camera was almost dead, so I had it, charging. And when I pulled that caddy out to look for something, everything kind of went berserk there. So anyway, I did take that sticker that says good stuff, and I put it to the top left of the layout, and then I put the title right next to it. Now at this point, this is where I'm looking for some washi tape. I'm like, I know I brought some washi tape. Where is it? And usually that little black strip one is one of the first ones that I'll grab when I go somewhere. The only thing I can figure is it's in a kit somewhere, some of those class kits that I put together, and I couldn't find it. So I was trying to figure out what else I could do to add some black element to the top and the bottom of the layout. And then I found these rub-on rollers. Now these here are about 13 years old. They're super old. They still work like a charm, and this one looks like it's a stitch. And I'm going to end up using the rest of this one, and I end up using another one. And now they're back. They are super popular. I mean, you can get them with the Chamel collection, the Dear Lizzie collection, the Amy Tangerine collection. They're back. So it's awesome to have, something come back, because this was the in thing about 14, 15 years ago. And I probably have maybe 15 or 20 of them. And I had taken them out about, I'd say 2.5 years ago, and everybody was like, where did you get that stuff? Well, now you can get some. I'm so happy. There is so many companies now that do those roll-on rub-ons, and they're amazing. I just wish some of them would make more neutral ones like this, with stitch and just plain stuff, because they're great. I mean, this looks like it's pretend stitching. It's like pretend stitching on my scrapbook layout. And I love that. And I love that, if you can tell, they're not all the same width, because depending on how I pulled on the rub-on, roll-on tool, the stitches are different lengths. And hello, it actually looks like it's stitched, because that's how I would stitch. It would be all crooked. Some of the stitches would be closer together. Some of them would be further apart. So it looks like it's real. And now I'm looking for some twine. And what I do when I packed for scrapbooking, and this I did years ago, I went into my twine stash, my ribbon stash, and I took maybe 5 meters of everything, and I put it in Ziploc bags, and I keep it in my container that I take scrapbooking, and it's there. So whenever I pack to go on a scrapbooking weekend, that stuff, I don't even have to think about it. It's just there. So when I'm, doing my pages and I know that I just need that little thing, whether it's rub on or um, twine like this, I know that I can find it easily in there and I don't have to worry that I forgot it home. So I believe what I'm looking for now is those amazing crystal drops that I got at Sparkle. Let me find the paper because I always call it Sparkle and Shine, and that's not what it is. It's sparkleandsprinkle.com, and they're crystal drops, and they are to make your own enamel dots, and they are amazing. And so I was looking for some black one, and I also brought in a spray, and I believe that is from, I don't even know what spray that's from. It's a yellow spray, a gold spray, and I think it's from Shimmers, but I'm not really sure because I didn't show it in the description or in the video there. And now with these, you can do it directly on your layout, which you have to be a little careful. You're going to see that I'm going to make a little boo-boo, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. But you have to hold it straight up and down and squeeze out using this, same amount of pressure. And the other thing is, don't put the two dots too close together because they will merge, and that's what happens on the sticker that is for Party Animal. They merge together, but that's okay. And once they dry, they absolutely look like enamel dots. Now you can do them ahead if you do them on some paper that doesn't stick, and then you can stick them to your layout, or you can do them directly on your layout. I use them both ways. And that's it. The page is done. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.